Hey, good afternoon, everybody from Amsterdam, and it's 1 o'clock our time. I wonder what time it is with you. Hello, my dearest co-presenter Idan Vellenman. How are you doing today on this worst month ever of crypto? Which is actually not true, but how are you feeling?
I'm good. Weather is not so fine, but further, I'm okay. Everything is fine.
Well, so it was interesting. July was the worst. June was one of the worst month for Bitcoin. 35% down, back to the level of 2017. And I've looked it up. It happened 7 times before. So it's not happened. It's not the only time that this happened, but it was 7 times that this happened. So lots of negative news, and we want to know: is this going to continue? And why did it happen? And what can we expect for the future? And of course, is this now finally what we've been saying? Buy the dip. Is this a time to start buying the dip? Okay, so let's go through the slides. We promised ourselves we'll keep this within half an hour. We're 3 minutes further away, so let's take a look at it. Okay, the fear factor went positive news there. It went from 11 to 18. And on this date, it was, I think, June the 6th. It was when Luna, I think this whole thing, when Luna went down, it was on 6. So it's rising, but it's still extreme fear. Why are we here, Idan?
Yeah, so I think it's good. Good afternoon, Vincent. I think it's really good to start with a short summary of what happened in the last month. And we all know the macroeconomics conditions are bad. Inflation is rising. We have problem with supply chain since the beginning of the year. We have a war in Ukraine and Russia. So nothing was really positive. And then 2 months ago, 10th of May, we had the Terra crash, and the Terra crash had a huge impact on crypto. I told you before we started, it's the Lehman Brothers of 2008, and that had a cascading effect on many other players, and we could see which player having can sustain their business and which can't. What happened a few days afterwards, and that was 3 weeks ago, through 3 weeks afterward, 3 weeks ago, Celcius, which was one of the biggest lending platform, centralized lending platform, they announced that they withdraw pause. A day before, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, has been published in the US, and it shows that the inflation was even higher than expected, and that again caused another crash for Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from May, it was 42. When the Terra happened, it went to 30, and after the publication of the CPI as well as the announcement of Celcius, it went from 30 to 20. And then, of course, we had other news like 3AC, one of the biggest hedge funds in the industry that filed for bankruptcy. Voyager Digital is a broker, crypto firm. They suffered from what's happening to 3AC and Celcius. They are being rescued now by FTX, and there's a lot of big list of companies that got into trouble and started to liquidate their assets. And liquidate their assets, for those who don't understand, means that they had to sell their crypto, and that again created a cascading effect. And Bitcoin ended up on the 18th of June. On 17,500. I think you can show the next slide, and we can see that what happened. So that's the Bitcoin weekly chart, and you can see how it went down. In the last month, there was a big crash. On the 18th of June, it reached 17,500, and since then it has recovered a bit.
Yeah, it's above the 20,000, above the 20,000. So like I said, it was 35% down in 1 month. and that happened 7 times before. So anybody who thinks this is the biggest, you see, is this definite? Is this the big? Is this the big showdown of crypto? Well, it happened 7 times before, and this was really a total crash test. So that's why we're here, and so we can at least say it has stopped, and now it's stabilizing. Let's see here. And the dollar keeps on rising and rising. So there must be a lot of people who buy the dollar. The dollar must be the place where everybody flees to instead, and people are selling off all kinds of assets like crypto, but more of those things. And then Nasdaq. So obviously people are dropping shares. How much is this total downfall? Do you know from December where we are? Let me see. We are from 17,000 to 11,500. So we're down 35% with Nasdaq. So crypto has been doing worse, but a little bit worse. But Nasdaq has also done very badly. Then we have the commodity pricing. What do we see here? We see it's.
No, I think we see that the first we mentioned that a few times in other shows, that once we start seeing a reverse trend in the commodity pricing went up very much since last year, and went even higher. And you could see that in March when Russia started the war in Ukraine, and since then it had an upward trend that went up and up and up and up. But in the last couple of weeks, and mainly this week, we see a big reverse. We see that the pricing are going down. They went down more than 10% or 15% even this week, and that's a good indication. It's a good indication that indicates that maybe the super high inflation that everyone is expecting may not arrive, and there's a higher fear of recession than our inflation. That may be an indication, right? That's something we don't know, but that it's good to see that the commodity pricing are going down, because energy pricing that obviously compose a big part of this index, they play a very big role in inflation.
Yeah. Then we see that container freights. I mean, they went from $1,800 to get it from China to $11,000, and now it's back to $7,000. So this is also something which we can expect for inflation. So that's good. The interest rates, the 10-year bond is also not going up anymore. It's even going down a little bit. So and it's actually, I mean, we're at an inflation of 8%, but the interest rate for 10 years is still 3%. That means the market expects that it's going to go down quite substantially, and I think the same thing. I mean, this is more a shock of the whole uncertainty of energy pricing. That's the biggest thing. Everybody's crazy in America because the gallons are now $5, and and $5 for a gallon is like let me see, was it $5 for a gallon? Because that's 4 liters. That's 4 liters a gallon. So we think still, I mean, it's $1.25 per liter, and then everybody gets extremely upset. Now, actually, it's going to in California. It's now $10. So it's now at the price of Europe. We have about the same price in America of gasoline as in Europe, and they are just totally not used to that. It's really interesting. But we expect to see what's happening next. Of all the negative news, I think this is really interesting. As maybe of you, we are DiamondPigs, and we basically provide signals for investment. You can have your money on Binance, and we have strategies which go in from BUSD to, for example, BTC, or we have a whole basket of a basket. And since May, we've built a robot to protect people against the general sentiment of the market. And so in the first quarter, we were just as hurt, just as much as all the other ones, because we just basically went in and out of crypto. We had investment strategies. And now since May, we have robots on every coin which decide what is the sentiment of the market, which is determined on a whole lot of complex strategies. It's a great algorithm, and so far we've survived this last month. I mean, crypto went down about 30%, or Bitcoin went down 30%, and we went up 3% till minus 6%. And the blue one, which you see here, is an index fund, is a passive fund. Those are just the top 10 coins, which did a little bit better than Bitcoin. It went down 22%. But I mean, of course, that's a passive fund. All these other ones, Duroc, Pennywell, Genua, they are active funds. And Hereford did the best thing. That's a Bitcoin only. And so it's normally on BUSD, but sometimes it makes a trade and still it makes money. So for the people who have put their money into DiamondPigs, I think they were very happy with us that we protected them. So I'm quite proud of that. We'll show a little demo at the end if you're interested. Okay. Then we tried really hard to find some positive news. And it turns out that the whales started to buy at 20K. They started to buy. Also, we heard the small investors started to buy. The whales started to buy. Only in between, they are the ones who are still selling off, probably because they had to deleverage, because they had to sell their things. And also, I talked to some exchange leaders of exchanges, and they said 70% of the people buy more than they sell. So they see a sentiment that everybody's starting to buy things. Everybody sees this. A lot of people see this as a buying opportunity. And what is this? Even JP Morgan thinks that better days are coming.
Yeah, I think JP Morgan has analyzed the market, and they expecting that the deleveraging wave we've seen with 3AC and Celcius and all the other is coming to an end. The reason is that the big companies already revealed that they don't have the pens and that they need to deleverage, and the ones that are still there are being rescued by FTX or by Binance, or will be rescued by one of the big guys. So we probably have reached the bottom here, and as you said, it may be that we start climbing gradually up right now, and we've seen that Bitcoin is now on 20,500, which is $3,000 already higher than its all-time low for the last 2 years. Yeah. And so they say it as well. And if you move to the next slide, I actually wrote
JP Morgan. We all know how enthusiastic the CEO of JP Morgan was about crypto. So but if they're positive about something about crypto, that means a lot. Then my favorite woman, Cathie Wood, and Cathie Wood is investing in all kinds of new things. Of course, she's much known about Tesla, but also about crypto, but also about DNA research and biological investment. And she was the queen of 2020 and 2019. But also last year she went down 50%, and still she is really into, like, wow, we are a great buying opportunity. But she gave a very interesting analysis of saying, hey, she predicts we're going to get deflation. She says all the signs are there. The Fed panicked, and we're going to get deflation, and we're going to get to a big rally. She's extremely bullish about it. So I always love to listen to her. And she also she showed in her podcast, she showed a story about how they had the Luna CEO up, and that she listened to him, and that she, as an economist, could not understand what he meant about this whole stable coin supported by Luna. And she asked very critical questions when he was there. So I thought that was really interesting. I think she's a smart woman, but she's down 50%. And some funds, and 40 and 30 on other funds, but she's very bullish about the future. Okay, let's see. And then you wrote an article.
Yeah, I haven't listened to Cathie Wood, and I haven't read the JP Morgan before today, but I have written yesterday a similar article about that, arguing why we are probably can expect some relief rally. I'm not saying the bear market is over, Vincent. I think there's a lot of things we don't know, and we need to stay cautious and modest in what we're saying. But there are some indicators that the worst is behind us, and I write it in our blog on our website. You can find it. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic right now.
Okay, and that is because of the commodity prices going down and the interest rate for 10 years, and because of all the there's no more crashes coming.
There may be no more crashes. There may be some companies who now learn how to deal with the deleveraging, and will rescue those companies if needed. Indeed, the commodity pricing are going up. For me, the 10 years bond is one of the most important indicators that tells us what will happen. And there is already for a couple of weeks a downwards trend, meaning that they expect less inflation and chances of higher inflation and bigger chances of recession. That means that the risk on assets will be more popular again, and people, like Cathie Wood says, will start investing more in risk on assets. Risk on assets are the equity market in Nasdaq, as well as cryptocurrencies. So we may see some relief rally soon.
Okay, Idan, I so hope you're right. I hope so. I mean, it will be nice. I mean, actually, I'm a little bit less panicking, because I mean, all my money is now invested by smart AI robots, which decide when to go in and out, together with people like you who decide which coins we buy. And so I'm a little bit less panicking, but also it's time to get a little bit to summer instead of a deep freeze winter.
Yes.
But I mean, it also doesn't depend on crypto. It just depends on Russia, and it depends on and if the war is going to expand, and if we and all the consequences of that. So we'll see how that goes. But I always love it the way you always find the little pearls, positive signs.
No, but I agree. The war in Russia plays a very important role. If we'll see that they get some arrangement in the coming months, that will be very positive for the market. If that's going to be not the case, we may see oil and gas pricing going even up, and then the inflation free will continue. Another indication that we look here is
one thing to comment on that about Ukraine. I follow the news that they're already putting a budget together of 700 billion euro to repair all the damage in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know, but the nuclear plants of the Ukraine are now delivering electricity to Europe, because they had 80% fallout of electricity demand, and now they're now connected to the European grid, and they're now selling for billions. They're selling now billions of electricity to the Netherlands and to Europe. So that's one little positive thing about something horrible. But I mean, I cannot. I mean, it's interesting to follow this kind of war, because Ukraine cannot give up territory. Russia cannot give up territory. America is really determined to make Russia weaker. It's just like, I don't see how this can work out. I mean, I don't see a solution. I cannot imagine these three parties being around the table, and that Ukraine says, oh, well, you just take the East. Or America says, oh, well, everything is okay with you, Russia. Or that Russia says, hey, we're going to give up some territory. It's fascinating to watch, and everybody's talking about it. But it's a lot more difficult to predict than crypto.
Yes.
All right. Okay. I'm a political scientist. I'm really passionate about it. But also for the people who live there, one of my friends is living there, Roel Pieper, and he's back in Kiev. I'm going to give him a call, see how he's doing. Okay, what's positive about the money which is locked into?
This is the total value locked on different protocols, mainly on DeFi, and you could see that for the first time since many weeks, we see a positive sign that more people are moving money to the protocols. than taking out money. And you see that in the last day, we see a 4.5% increase. We see on the last 7 days, we see some increase. I think the lowest level was last time 2 weeks ago when we spoke was 72 billion. It's now 7 billion up. Another very small sign that we may have seen the worst.
Wow. That. It's 66% down from the high point in May.
Yeah.
Well, I am interested. We have these centralized systems like Celcius and some others, and we have the decentralized lending platforms. Are the decentralized lending platforms? Did you see anybody going down due to a fantastic, not working algorithm?
No, I think
protocol.
To me, this is one of the big lessons we get in the last couple of weeks, is that the DeFi protocols, the lending protocol have won. None of them went bankrupt. None of them stopped working. Everything is working well. If you have smart contract and you make agreement based on the software and some protocols, then everything goes well. When you have Cefi lending platform like Celcius, where they start leveraging and you have some people who are taking a lot of risk, then it's not working on the long term. So for me, it's a very big sign that the DeFi protocols, they are the future. And smart contract is the future. And again, it's very positive to know that. It's been very painful for a lot of people. It's still very painful for a lot of people. But DeFi are right now winning the Cefi.
Well, we'll see. That's interesting. I mean, I hope that's not the case for exchanges, because then all the exchanges are mostly 95% of all the money in exchanges are centralized.
True, Vincent. But even CZ said in an interview 2 weeks ago that the future is the decentralized exchanges, and within 10 years, there will be only decentralized exchanges. Only we need to do that migration much better than we are doing the migration to DeFi. And there are a lot of lessons learned in the last couple of months. But the future is also decentralized exchange as well, absolutely.
Okay. Let's go to the last couple of news. Interesting talking about these exchanges. Bitcoin has been moving out. People move it to their private wallets. That's interesting. Most aggressive rate in history. It's only a couple of billion, but it is more than anything, thanks to our friends of Glassnode. Cardano, huge amount of work. They're going to the Basel hard fork, which is supposed to give a huge amount of increase in transaction. And Charles is keeping up with the work, so we'll see what Cardano does. I thought this was really interesting. I tried from Binance to go to PayPal. So I sent my first payment from Binance, and through crypto, through PayPal, I could send it to somebody else. So crypto is now also supported by PayPal. So I thought that was also a little sign that behind the scenes, slowly the systems are being connected. The Basel banks, I thought it was also interesting. I didn't make a news item of it, but they said banks can have a maximum of 1% on their balance sheet. So I thought, oh wow, this is Basel. This is like the Bank of Settlements saying, well, you can have money on your, you can have crypto on your balance sheet, but not more than 1%. So I guess that's positive news. And then this to a little of a human news. I don't know if you know Jet McCablett, and this guy is quite active in the crypto scene. But he was 1 year with XRP, and they reward him with 7.2 billion XRPs. He was only there for a year, and then since last year he started to sell hundreds of millions away. And he now will have sold everything by the end of September, October, or something. He's selling hundreds of millions of Ripples, and XRP and Ripple, in my opinion, was just an idea that there was some kind of token which the bank would use to do international, blockchain kind of settlements. Ripple has been the company behind Ripple has been making systems for banking, but nobody wanted to touch the Ripple. The Ripple has no use whatsoever. It has no value whatsoever, but it is because of all that news that banks might use it. It's still there. He's very wise to sell it. because I don't think that will do that. That has no future. That XRP, the Ripple, but he's basically going to end with all of it. So I think that's really interesting. Okay, what I wanted to do is one last thing. We're 3 minutes before the end. That's really cool. Is ask you all our people if you could. I'm going to put it in the slideshow. But we have a question for you. Would you be so nice to fill out the questionnaire? And that's the questionnaire for crypto. And we just want to know who you are, what kind of investor you are, how long you've been in it, what you think of how much you know, what you expect of a party like us, where which give you signals, investment strategies in your own wallet. And we just want to get to know you. So if you would be so nice to click on the link, we'll give you some credit for it, but we basically want to know if we're doing the right thing. Okay, and I just want to show a quick demo, very, very quick demo, because we have such a nice way for you to get to know us. If you go there and you make an account, you just make an account here, register. You make your register. You just fill out some numbers. But then I already done that, so I can go test and say remember me. Then you don't have to do it. This is a 2-minute process. You have a play mode, and what you can say is, suppose I invested $10,000 on say September the 6th, and I selected Genua. What would the result be at this moment? So you see here, and this is really interesting. Let me actually start with Bitcoin. If we have Bitcoin, if you would have invested 10,000, at the end you would have minus 62. We have one strategy which is called Satoshi. This is Bitcoin. Then we have one strategy which is called Hereford. That is only Bitcoin. You go in Bitcoin or you're in dollars. Bitcoin and dollars. If you would have invested the same thing, you would have gone to plus 18%. Plus 18%. And you could just play with this. You could just play with this, how this works. Then if you would have gone to Duroc, and that is that's a bunch of coins which you can see here. And if we don't show you the coins, we show you the division, but we don't show you the names of the coins. That's only when you become our customer, but we're completely transparent about it. And then you can see that even though it has been the worst crypto winter ever, you'll end up with 190% more since September, September the 1st. So, I mean, instead of 60% down, you would have 190% up. But I'm just really, I'm almost embarrassed to show it. But we have this other Genua, which is basically your brainchild. And how has Genua been doing in that period? And how the hell was that possible?
Yeah, Genua was doing with the bot. Genua was doing well. There was one time in March that Bitcoin went up from 38 to 47K, and Genua picked up a couple of coins that went up tenfold, and now you can see that. For the rest, it's been pretty
700% up since September. It's just like, and the interesting thing is, you decide which coins are going in there, or the team, but you're the brain. This is your brainchild, and then we have the robot protection, which gets out of the moment that the market goes down, and they have done that. And I think Genua has done it wonderful. They went up, but they didn't go much down. And if you see Duroc, which also did well, but they went up. That went up, and then later they went down before they got out of the market. So it seems like the protection for Genua has been better, because you see the same balance. They also profited a lot from the rise.
Yeah.
And but Genua has been doing wonderful.
Yeah, correct. So Genua is a bit faster. Obviously, it's faster in stepping in and stepping out of the market. And in this volatile market condition, Genua has been doing the last period doing very well, because it could You could see when the market's going down and stepping out of the market, and when the market's showing some upward trend, is stepping into some coins. The coins we choose about 50 coins, and Gino is the one who's picking up which coins and which time is entering the market and which coins are exiting the market. Yeah. And we are just keep on controlling the performance of the coins, and from time to time improve the parameters. But for the rest, the robot is doing just automatically the work, and they're doing it very well in the last couple of months. So
yeah, we have to say that this is based. These robots have been part of our strategy for our clients from May. Okay, it's from May.
Yeah.
And so what they've done, especially, is to protect people. But this part is based on backtesting. So our clients couldn't use Genua Plus at this moment. But it looks extremely promising, so we're looking forward to the next run. But also, that's why I sleep much better, because we have a fantastic protection mechanism built in. So I would like to invite everybody, go to diamondpigs.com, make give your username, give an email address, and within 1 minute you're in this play window. And then if you say, hey, I want to connect it, if you have Binance or you want to open a Binance account, then you can put some money in there. We used to have a $5,000 limit minimal, and how much is that now, Idan?
It's zero, because it's very scalable. Now we don't need to do anything. You just go through it. You can decide yourself what when do you want to connect it, and when you don't want to connect it, you can put as much money as you want. Up to $200, you don't need to pay anything. As of $200, there's a very small fee, monthly fee, that you pay per month. You can see that every time when you choose a strategy. You see also the description as well as the monthly payment. Mm-hmm. With some strategies, we are moving to performance fee after the summer, and just try it out. Try $500, $200, $1,000, and see.
Yeah, so if you invest up to $200, we don't charge any fees.
No.
And you can try it out in a small thing. And if you start to invest more, it's now 0.5% a month. But we're going, after the summer, we're going to a smaller percentage per month, and then a performance fee of 10 or 15%.
Correct.
So we'll work that out. So try us out and give us your comments. That's really nice. We'd like to see that. Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much Idan. We'll see each other. We'll see each other next week again.
Yes.
Oops, and that is not right anymore. We do not have the 5,000. We need to update our video. It's now everybody can use it. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. See you next week.